Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Joan Vassos, the Golden Bachelorette star, has been visiting her fiancé Chock Chapple in his hometown of Wichita, but she went for a huge event in New York City without him due to his refusal to leave Kansas. Joan, who met Chock on the first night of the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 and soon fell in love with him, has been traveling extensively since the show's conclusion. While Joan and Chock stated that they hoped to locate a property in NYC following the show's end, things have been difficult for the couple, particularly given Chock's lack of interest in the city. In an Instagram post, Joan stated that she and former Bachelorette Charity Lawson would be attending a live podcasting event in New York City, leaving Chock in Wichita. "Hey NYC, come join me and at Charity Lawson this Wednesday for a live podcast," she said, along with a shared post announcing the event hosted by Randy Rahm. While Joan and Charity are performing a live webcast together, the fact that Chock has once again chosen to stay in Wichita rather than travel to NYC with Joan is concerning, but not surprising. Chock's distaste in living in New York City has been more apparent over time. Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple, from the Golden Bachelorette, posed next to the Statue of Liberty and a Kansas sign. Custom image by Kizar Garcia. Joan's most recent stay with Chock in Wichita was the longest she has spent in Kansas since the Golden Bachelorette, but it appears that she is still obsessed with her New York City fantasies. While Joan has stated that she is content with Chock and wishes to make decisions that benefit both of them, it is evident that her desire is to relocate in the near future, whilst Chock looks to be settled in Kansas. After recently growing his influencer network, Chock has been doing a lot for the community he's created in Wichita, making it difficult to leave. While Joan and Chock were honest about how they intended to continue following the Golden Bachelorette final, it appears that they are no longer in agreement. Joan has traveled back and forth to New York several times in recent months, but Chock has not accompanied her on the majority of her visits. Joan's decision to return to New York after a vacation to Wichita suggests she is still highly interested in making the Big Apple her new home. Meanwhile, Chock has remained in Kansas, causing them to become estranged. Although the decision is ultimately theirs, it's evident that Joan and Chock have different perspectives on living in New York City. Joan, who has done everything she can in New York, appears to be more concerned with making Chock happy than with rocking the boat and pushing NYC. Traveling back and forth to NYC for business may be the best option for her to keep having the best of both worlds, given Chock's dislike for the city, as evidenced by the Golden Bachelorette star's refusal to leave Wichita. Joan Vassos, the beloved star of the Golden Bachelorette, found herself caught between two worlds, her heart tethered to Chock Chapple in Wichita and her spirit yearning for the dazzling energy of New York City. Since the show's conclusion, Joan had been traveling extensively, embracing new opportunities and soaking up the vibrant culture of NYC. However, Chock's reluctance to leave Kansas posed a significant challenge to their relationship. Joan and Chock's love story began on the very first night of the Golden Bachelorette. Their connection was immediate, deep, and seemingly unshakable. They spent magical moments together, exploring their shared passions and envisioning a future side by side. When the show ended, they expressed their desire to find a home in New York City, a prospect that thrilled Joan but seemed to unsettle Chock. As Joan settled into life post-show, her career flourished. She received invitations to exclusive events, collaborated with brands, and built strong friendships with other reality stars, including Charity Lawson. Her latest endeavor, a live podcasting event in NYC hosted by Randy Rahm alongside Charity, was another exciting milestone. Yet, once again, she was traveling to the city alone. Chock, committed to his growing influencer network and community in Wichita, remained steadfast in his decision to stay behind. During her time in Kansas, Joan genuinely made an effort to embrace Chock's world. She attended local events, met his friends, and even considered properties in the area. But something inside her always pulled her back to New York. The contrast between their visions for the future expressed her dreams of immersing herself in the city's fast-paced life, while Chock explained his deep-rooted connection to Wichita. He had built something meaningful there: relationships, a career, and a sense of belonging. Joan admired his dedication, but she couldn't ignore the pang of sadness she felt whenever she boarded a plane back to Kansas. "I just don't see myself in New York, Joan," Chock admitted one evening as they sat on the porch of his Wichita home. "Everything I love is here. My family, my work, my entire life is rooted in this place." Joan sighed, swirling the wine in her glass. "I know, Chock, and I don't want to take you away from that. But I can't help feeling like I belong in New York. It's where my career is growing. It's where I feel most alive." Their discussions, though heartfelt, often ended without resolution. Joan felt torn. She loved Chock deeply, but the thought of giving up her dreams weighed heavily on her. Likewise, Chock adored Joan, but couldn't imagine uprooting his life for a city that held no appeal for him. As Joan prepared for yet another trip to NYC, she and Chock shared a quiet moment in his living room. He helped her pack, placing her essentials neatly into her suitcase. The action, though simple, was laden with unspoken emotions. "I'll miss you," he said, his voice tinged with sadness. Joan looked up, her eyes searching his. "I'll miss you too." The unspoken question lingered between them. How much longer could they keep this up? How long before the distance became too great, before their love was overshadowed by the weight of compromise? As Joan landed in New York, she was greeted by the city's familiar energy: the honking taxis, the towering skyscrapers, the hum of endless possibility. She met up with Charity, who sensed the turmoil in her friend's heart. "You okay?" Charity asked as they walked through the bustling streets. Joan sighed, forcing a smile. "I don't know. I love Chock, but I love this city too. I'm scared one of them is going to have to give." Charity gave her a reassuring squeeze. "You deserve to have both, Joan. Maybe there's a way to make it work." Joan wanted to believe that, but deep down she feared the inevitable. How much longer could she and Chock live in two different worlds? And when the time came to choose, which love would she choose? Her love for Chock, or her love for the life she had always dreamed of? As the season final approached, viewers speculated about whether Grant would propose, or even end up with anyone at all. His hesitation throughout the process left room for doubt. Dina Lupenko walked away from The Bachelor with clarity, confidence, and an understanding of what she needed in a partner. While her time with Grant didn't lead to love, it gave her valuable insight into what she truly wanted. "I don't regret going on the show at all. It was a wild experience, and I learned so much about myself. I know now that I want something real, something that isn't dictated by cameras or timelines." As for her future in Bachelor Nation, the door remains open, but only if the right opportunity and the right man comes along. Who knows? Maybe I'll give Paradise a shot. But for now, I'm happy just living my life and waiting for something that feels right. With that, Dina Lupenko closed the chapter on The Bachelor Season 29, ready for whatever adventure came next. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any updates.